Again, folks, behind the bubble, talking to Kevin, who has brought this marvellous Britten over with him for the public to see, and possibly Briss to get a lap on.
We're hoping.
Weather permitting, of course. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about this amazing machine.
Well, this bike's one of the 3 factory bikes, as they call them, which were raced hard in the early 90s. It was, it's officially a 92 bike, but it was developed through 91. And at that time it was fairly radical in design. It was, all carbon fibre in terms of right through from wheels through to tank, everything that's not metal on the bike is in carbon fibre.
Yep.
The motor itself is quite radical, and it was probably one of the first bikes to have computer management.
Yes.
So at the time it was pretty much ahead of its time.
Very much ahead of its time, yeah.
And by the time John had finished the project, this bike here was putting out 168 horsepower and 139 kilos. So it was
quite awesome.
Awesome.
Quite awesome. And you know, for the design a bike from the ground up to go out and be competitive was a massive achievement in itself.
Absolutely. I think if you look at the bike, everything about it's quite radical and quite unique. Still, even today, not too many people have sort of picked up on some of the aspects. Yes. But for me, the real, the king hit is the fact that he took all these radical aspects and got them A, to work, and B, to put the whole package together. And as a package, the thing worked extremely well.
Yep. And as you say, it's sort of bewildering how most of the manufacturers haven't picked up on any of these, on many of these aspects.
Well, the technology has moved on a little bit now, as you well know.
Yes.
The horsepower output of this thing is probably quite limited compared to what's being put out today, even in superbikes.
Yeah.
So, however, there's just some aspects that you think the front end, of course, is quite radical, still is.
Yes.
Aspects of it, there's some disadvantages to it. I won't go into those. There's a few riders who will tell you, but generally the fact that it is so stable on the track, and even people like John McGuinness have commented how rock solid the bike is in moving it around the track.
Yes.
So it's an interesting because although aspects have been picked up, like BMW is a similar thing, but nothing quite the same. And certainly the advantage of that front end doesn't seem to have coerced anybody into radically doing something similar.
Yep. So, Kevin, you've really given us a good insight into the Britten, and it's amazing for the fans here today to get a chance to see it, again after such a long period of time being away, and and look back. I personally remember it racing. Unfortunately, I may be a wee bit older than some of the spectators are here. So, all I can do is thank you from us at Behind the Bubble for giving us this little interview. And it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.